Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. Guys, it's the season finale. I never thought I'd see this day of the season finale of season 2 after almost a year of filming this season. It has been an absolute pleasure, and I thought I had to have one of the best simmers come be my season finale, and I'm so excited to have Daniellebuilds here today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. You are so sweet, and I'm so excited to talk about all things Sims, my favorite subject.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited to dive in, but I want to thank my listeners. You guys are amazing. And we got to start this off. Danielle, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and your Sims history?
Well, I'm 21 years old. I live in Alabama. I just bought a house and I'm getting married this year, so my life is super duper crazy these days. Um, but going back to when The Sims first was kind of introduced to my life, I was about 7 years old, and my older sister was sitting on the wooden chair playing Sims 2. And I was like, I remember they were swimming, and I love the pool. Like, I was like a mermaid when I was little. I still am. I love swimming. So I was like, oh, are those little people swimming? And she's like, yeah, it's called The Sims. They're little Sims. And I was like, what? And so she was like, here, just sit on my lap because I was really little. And I was watching and I was like, can I play? And she was like, yeah. So I remember I clicked on the sim and then I saw their head. And like whenever I clicked on the interactions, their head would follow it. And that's like one of the first memories I have. It's like burned into my brain. So now that I play The Sims 2, every time I see that little head following the mouse, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. Still seeing this however many years later. And The Sims 2 is still my favorite Sims game, by the way, because I can never get tired of it. Also, sorry if you hear my dogs in the background.
That is
They
okay.
have the zoomies all the time. So, oh, sorry. So then I remember Sims 3 came out, I think the same year that I started playing The Sims 2. Because I was born in 2002, and The Sims 3 came out in 2009, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember my sister was like, a new Sims game came out, and I was like, what? And then she downloaded it, and then oh my gosh, that whole summer was just me plus The Sims plus eat, sleep, poop. That's it. That's it. That's all I did. And I never got tired of it. And I'm still not tired of it. I don't think I will ever get tired of The Sims. I just have such a strong connection to it. I just love it. So fast forward to 2021, TikTok was kind of big, like starting to get really big then. I was sitting on my couch watching iCarly. I had my laptop on my lap playing The Sims 4. And I was I've always loved iCarly too. So I was like, let me build the iCarly apartment. So I started to build. But then I was like, wait, I should like record the process on my phone and post it on TikTok because maybe people will like that. So I did just that. The quality was not good at all. I was like recording my screen with my phone. So I posted it thinking nothing. And then I woke up to 7 million views and 40,000 followers overnight. And my stomach hurt and I was sick and I was like, oh gosh, people want more and I don't know what I'm doing. And like when I was younger, I always wanted to be like a YouTuber, but I could never find my niche. I tried doing the vlogs, I tried doing the challenges and never went anywhere. So I never thought to do Sim stuff. I don't know why, because I loved watching Sims YouTubers. But I guess I just thought nobody would be interested in watching me because I live in Alabama and nobody cares about people in Alabama. So I have a weird mindset. So when I posted that, I had so many, like thousands of comments. Please do a part 2. You have to finish. You have to do upstairs and Spencer's room and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh my god, okay. So then when I filmed that second video, I think it took me like 7 hours to do it, and it should have only taken me like one. But I was so meticulous. I'm like, if I mess up, people are gonna hate me. I'm gonna lose all this fame that I have, and I'm gonna cry. And I was super sensitive because it was so many emotions happening at once. Like waking up to all those followers, I was sick. I was excited, but I was scared. So I continued doing the iCarly series, and that was up. And by the end of that series, I had 80,000 followers. And then I started doing different shows like Hannah Montana, like building the houses from the shows Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, Jessie, Good Luck Charlie, all the classic Disney, Nickelodeon shows and movies. And then I had 100,000 followers, and I started getting brand deals and making money. So I was like, okay, but I was still working at a grocery store, like
Mm-hmm.
full time. So I couldn't really put my all into TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. So, um, sorry, my dogs are literally being so bad. So I then started working with brands. Um, and that's when it started picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, then flash forward to I don't remember the exact month, but like towards the middle slash end of last year, 2022,
Mm-hmm.
I quit my job at the grocery store. And I was like, the reason I quit is because I just hated it. I was stocking shelves and I'm like, what am I doing? All I want to do right now is play The Sims and make money on my TikTok because that's what I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my mindset for like a year. And I was like, okay, let me just quit. So I did. I put in my 2 weeks, by the way. I didn't just leave. So, um, then I just went home and immediately started posting more videos. And by then I had like 500,000 followers. I did my first big brand deal with DoorDash and Dunkin' Donuts. And the money I made from that was eye-opening. And then I looked into it and I realized that what I had been charging before was not enough. So I was like, wait, am I supposed to be charging like this much money for one 15-second video? Like, this doesn't make sense. Because whenever I hear that, I'm like, that sounds like I'm scamming the company. But no, they want my like, they want my follower. That's why they pay so much. And that's like nothing to them, obviously, because DoorDash is a really big company. But I
Mm-hmm.
felt bad. Like, I don't know. But now today on TikTok I have 600 something thousand followers. I've done 3 partnerships with EA and it was so fun. And the first partnership I did, they ran my ad, like it had my face in it at the beginning. They're
Mm-hmm.
still running that as an ad on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, Hulu, bunch of other random places. And the way that I get multiple messages a week with a screenshot of the ad or like a picture of someone's TV, like, I just saw you in an ad. And I'm like, what? Like, I know I did that, but it still like shocks me because it's like scary. Like, how many
Mm-hmm.
people see my face every day? It's so cool though. And super excited I got to do that. Um, So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at now. I make the money I make now is definitely not stable because some months I can make like $5,000 and then I'll go 3 months without making really anything. So it's not stable, but it is livable and it's able to be my full-time job.
Well, Danielle, thank you so much for sharing. There's a lot to unpack
Oh yeah.
and that's in that a little bit. You touched on stuff that I was gonna touch on a little bit later of like how does it feel to be basically everybody's dream when they start wanting to do Simstagram is do this
Yeah.
as their full-time job. But you
Yeah.
also touched on a good point that it's not the financials not sustainable. Most of us have
Yeah.
9 to 5 jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so I'm really glad that you touched upon that being like, hey, like money does come in, but it's not every month because most people think they get like a million views on TikTok and they don't go pay rent.
No.
You've gone viral. No, that's not how
No.
real life works. So we'll start at the beginning. So you played Sims 2. Have you ever played the original Sims?
Yes. I did not grow up playing that, but I play it every now and then, like these days.
If it was out, if Origins put The Sims, the first Sims as a complete collection and The Sims 2 as a complete collection, would you buy it to play it again?
Yes, I would.
See, I think that's a good like I think that's a good answer because when you said you were born in 2002 and that makes you 21, I'm going to be 30 this year. So I was born in 1993. So
Yeah.
so I was like, oh my, I'm like, that's what makes 21-year-olds is 2002.
I know, it's shocking to me too, honestly.
No, enjoy your 20s. Honest to God, my
Aw.
20s have been the best years of my life. And that's usually because the 20s and your 30s are the best.
Yeah.
But a lot of people never didn't play The Sims 1 when it came out because like I started playing The Sims in 2003. So you would have been
Oh, wow.
1 years old.
What?
But I was 10.
Oh,
So
gosh.
yeah, so I grew up playing The Sims 1 at my best friend's house because I'm
Mhm.
convinced that The Sims is a gateway drug into gaming because it's everybody's best friend or sister that gets you into it. I
Yes,
have
yes,
never met a person
really.
that it's them that got someone into it. It's always somebody else got them into it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I would love to see it come back because I would love to feel that nostalgic moment again. I did a
Mhm.
podcast yesterday, all about 2000s nostalgia. And we covered a good chunk of stuff. You know, like the classic, I like really like the classic Disney shows where like
Oh my
just
gosh.
for us, it was Lizzie McGuire, Even Stevens, That's a Raven. Like that was
Mhm.
our classic shows. But the number one most nostalgic thing that everybody talks about is the Sims 1, the original Sims. That was on
Yes.
everybody's like, and I was like, we don't feel nostalgic about it because we never gave it up. We've been doing this for
Yeah.
like 20 years. Um, but I would want the generation that didn't get to experience it right when the first they come out and play it, but I would be so scared that it wouldn't hold the same value as it did when we were kids.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. Now, I know Sims 2
Yeah.
is your favorite. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
Sims 2 is also my favorite. Out of all
Mhm.
the iterations, it is the best game, especially when it came out because there was nothing on the market even close to like
Yeah.
it was like Windows Pinball was the closest fun thing maybe.
Yeah.
Um why is The Sims 2 better than The Sims 4 in your opinion?
The gameplay, the quirkiness, the aesthetic, the nostalgia, just the overall vibe, the fact that I never get tired of playing.
Mhm.
Um, of course, after like a 15-hour session, I'll be like, all right, it's time to get off of this game. But with The Sims 4, I struggle with gameplay because it's like I kind of expect everything. Like, my sim gets pregnant, I'm like, yep, I saw that coming. Sim dies, I'm like, okay, whatever. But The Sims 2, it's like stuff happens, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm genuinely shocked, and I'm excited, and it's fun, and I laugh, and I cry when my favorite sim dies. Like, the emotions that I feel have such a strong bond and connection with the game. But The Sims 4, I don't have those same emotions with the gameplay,
Mhm.
but I will never get tired of building. I love building in The Sims 4.
I will say that like building in The Sims 4 is beautifully stunning. The visuals are
Yes.
the stunning. The graphics are stunning. But you
Yes.
touched on a really good point about like the lore and the
Yeah.
drama and the chaos that was
Yes.
in Sims 2. You're starting to see it get a little bit in Sims 4 with
Mhm.
cottage living, with the townies from that pack, and even a little bit from growing together. Like you're starting to see that come back in. But you touched on a good point. Like I stopped doing gameplay in The Sims 4 years ago because it was so boring and it was so
Yeah.
predictable. There was
Me
no like I mean, there is chaos, but you have to make the chaos.
Yeah.
You have to do a not so berry challenge or an ABC legacy challenge or a zombie legacy challenge or a Disney legacy challenge or
Yeah.
any legacy challenge to create drama. I just kind of feel, and now EA has come out with scenarios, which to
Yeah.
me, that was already challenges. That's just their version of challenges. We shouldn't have to create challenges to feel something in The Sims.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what is like in The Sims 2, what, like, obviously you love the gameplay aspect, but like, what was your favorite true like moment of The Sims 2? Like, what is that core moment?
When a streaker came like flailing his arms up with the censored body, and he just comes into my Sims room and dances next to them and then stares at them and then dances and then runs off. I was dead. I was I actually recorded I used cheats in The Sims 2 to like shift click on the mailbox,
Yeah.
and I filmed one for my TikTok, and I had to I had to put a plumb bob over his body, and I had to like go frame by frame because every time I tried to upload it to TikTok, it was like, we have detected nudity, and I'm like, no, it's censored, but okay. But yes, I recorded one for my TikTok, and everybody was like, oh my god, this is so funny. Why have I never seen this? I think it came with a pack, like university or whatever it's called. But that was the core memory, and every time I think about it, I just laugh. Like The Sims 4 would never do that ever.
No.
And like also with The Sims 2, like the little details, like whenever you get in the car, like if it's an older car, it'll like shake. Like just the little things. I could go on and on. It's just the little things The Sims 4
Mm-hmm.
will never have, probably. And if they do, it'll be a $40 pack.
Girl, I'm glad you said that because I know you and Daddy EA like each other. Daddy EA don't like me. So. But it's true. It's very, especially with the news that came out this week. I've been really trying to not like beat a drum on it because these podcasts aren't coming out till much later in this year to potentially early next year. But horses, and because with the CD keys, they released the thumbnail of like, oh, yep, this is gonna be horses, and it's coming out July. For us in Canada, that our expansion packs are $72 with tax. That's a lot of money to have horses. Now,
Yeah.
I gotta ask, I mean, if we do get horses, by the time this comes out, we'll already know if it's true or not. Do you think The Sims 4 needs horses?
No.
I agree to an extent. I agree to like, it's difficult because I'm a storyteller, so I need the horses because
Okay, yeah. I
there's
get
no CC really good option. Like there are options for CC horses, but they're just not real. Like I want a sim to get onto the back of a
Oh yeah.
horse and go away instead of, because like the 2CC options is an actual just CC horse with poses, or it's Felipe the horse and it's a mesh over the bike. And so you're on the horse, but it's technically the bike, and your bike helmet goes on and it grabs the ears for the handles, and it literally is like going back and forth. Again, it's amazing for Instagram storytellers, but if you're a machinima creator, that is very hard to edit out that you're just grabbing the horse's ears and riding your bike. Okay, so I wanted for that, but I think it's crazy that if it actually is an expansion pack, they're going to make people spend lots of money on horses where it could have just been added to cottage living.
Yes. Like whenever I see a new expansion pack come out, since I haven't been doing much gameplay, like if the expansion pack is like cottage living, it's like the main thing about that pack is the fact that there's farm animals.
Yeah.
But the only thing I was excited about, oh my gosh, new build mode items. Oh my gosh, new opportunities for me to make new builds and new vibes and little cottages. And like with the horse pack, if that really is a thing, I'm excited for the build mode items, and I will be getting it strictly for those items. I'll probably try out the horse thing because I'm really interested to see how that works compared to The Sims 3, because I was obsessed with making like a little cowgirl with her little cowboy boots and getting her little horse, and she's like on her mommy and daddy's mansion farm vibes, and yeah. So it will not compare to that. I already know, but we'll see.
I feel like nothing can compare. Like Sims 2 and Sims 3, they're significantly better than Sims 4, in my personal opinion. Minus graphics, because Sims 3 graphics are fucking petrifying.
No.
Yeah. Also, you can swear on this podcast. It's okay. Like this is not censored. I know
I've a very bad potty mouth, so
that's okay. This is maybe this ain't TikTok. You can swear and say boobies all you want. Because I've interviewed a couple TikTokers now that they're like, I can finally be free. And I'm like, you know it. You can be free on here. Yeah, like it's not gonna be the fucking same. Okay. Like it's not, and I'm excited to have like the Montana ranch style vibe, because we don't really we have the world, which is Oasis Springs, kind of like, I guess I wouldn't even say that. It's kind of more of like Arizona desert-ish, but I'd be curious to see what the world would look like but I could see them being like, oh, well, there's no world, it's just horses. I could flat out see that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if they give us horses, cars, ferries,
oh my gosh,
Sims 4 is done. Like they've wrapped it up, they put a bow on it. Which I've never had an opportunity to talk to you about it, but what are your thoughts on Project Renee? Do you want it?
Oh my gosh, I do want it. I do. I'm excited for it because the build mode customization, that's why I'm excited. The color wheel, the way that you can like drag out furniture, make it smaller or bigger, like I need that so bad. The way that my content would thrive, I already know. The money would be great because, the money is not the reason I make content. That's just a huge plus because for 2 years I was not getting paid at all. But I knew eventually one day if I just keep going, this can be my job. So if money was the reason I did this, I would have quit 2 years ago. So I just wanted to say that. A lot of people are like, they have like misconceptions about why I do what I do, but I genuinely love what I do. That's why I do it. The money is just a little bonus. So anyway, yes, I want Project Renee, even though it won't be out for however many years. I am ready for it when it's ready for me.
Okay, can I propose to you that it's actually not Sims 5, it is just a builder's game. And you can just build, and let's just leave it there, and let's fix Sims 4 and just have Sims 4 be the last iteration, and then Project Renee just literally be like the Sims building game. And that's kind of really all they were showing, because like we obviously see the color wheel and the decorative pillows and the blankets, and you can customize the bed shapes and the couch. And I loved to see that, because I scream on this podcast all the time, is how come in Decor to Max we got a fucking vortex into the wall, but I have to download CC pillows. Okay. Just throw that out there. But I'm have you seen what the Sims look like for Sims 5 so far?
I don't remember. I think I have, but I really don't remember off the top of my head.
They're petrifying.
Oh wait, no, I have. It looks like Abby Lee Miller, that one girl. Yes, I have seen it. When you said petrifying, I got the image in my head.
Yeah, yes. It's petrifying. And I honestly thought that when they were going to announce Project Renee during like 2 summits ago, it was going to be the plumb bob of what the plumb bob was going to look like. And nothing else, just to kind of tease. And then they kept showing building stuff. And I'm like, how petrifying are these Sims if they are not showing the Sims? And then we got it. I was like, this is like nightmare fuel. And then they keep showing the same leaked photos. That's what I'm concerned of. I'm just not ready to spend another $1,000 on packs. Right? And also I also want to bring up, you also touched on a good point of not doing this for the money. And sticking with it. This podcast has been going on, well, at this point, almost 2.5 years by the time this episode comes out. I just like bringing the community together. And it took a while to get some traction, but I finally got I have a sponsor. I've had 2 sponsorship deals now,
Hey,
which is
that's so
odd.
exciting.
But I don't do it for the money.
No,
It
yeah.
helps pay for things.
Yeah.
Like, but doing stuff, like I said, I work a full-time job. Like I work on Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, 8 to 4.
Yeah.
Right. So like I think thank you for sharing that, because a lot of
Yeah.
like my nieces are just like, we want to be like internet famous. And I'm like, you don't.
It's not as simple as posting a few videos and getting millions of views. Because even if that does happen, you're not gonna make money for a long time.
Mhm.
Like, unless for some reason your brand new account that looks suspicious if you're brand new and already getting like all these views. If you have a sponsor reach out, they're gonna probably lowball you because they see that you're new and you're not gonna know what you're doing, and they're gonna be like, "I'll give you $100." And you're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, $100!" No, if you like, I used to lowball myself. I think I said that. Like, I used to be like, "Hey, I'll take 150," when I should have been taking like 2,000
Mhm.
because that sounded so scary to me. And I'm like, this is too much. I'm scared. But I'm like, Danielle, why did you do that? You're so stupid. Just take the money. If they're offering it, just take it. And even offer higher. Always offer higher. Double what you think. Double. The worst they can say is, no, let's do this instead. And you're going to be like, okay.
It's so funny you say that, because I remember when it was the keto candy sponsorship,
Oh, the smart sweets.
Smart Sweets. And you were like, if I remember correctly, you're like, I should have gotten paid more. I used to be a social media manager, so I used to deal with I was on the other side of
Yeah.
giving people contracts to
Okay.
pitch our stuff. And knowing your followership, I don't know how much they paid you for that. I have to
Nothing.
assume they lowballed you.
They didn't pay me anything.
They didn't pay you anything?
They just said, you'll get a commission if people buy through your link. And like, if somebody places like a $100 order, I'll get like $4. The most I've gotten is like $6 from the like, how many, like a year, over a year since I started doing that.
Yep.
So yeah, whatever.
I Advice to everybody listening, as a person who used to hand out contracts, ask for money, and first do not ask for a promo code.
Yes, you don't want a promo code. It's gonna
Nope.
seem so cool because your name is available to be typed in on a big website. No, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get less than $50 probably,
Yep.
especially if you're like a newer content creator with like less than 10,000 followers. You're gonna make pennies, if that. Like
Mm-hmm.
even me with over 100K followers on Instagram, those code things, they're not, no, less than
Nope.
$10 for me. Like
Yep.
per year. It's not cool. It's not cool. Now, if they offer you a promo code with a base pay on top, yes, 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 yes.
Yes. So my sponsorship, I can't get into how much they pay me because I've signed an NDA, but
Okay.
they negotiated with me, not for promo code, but how well the posts do, a percentage, and I
Yeah.
flat out said no, you're going to give me a
Yeah.
base pay. I do this for a living, because I had to show them because I got it because of the podcast, because
Mhm.
I have a lot of listens, more than like my YouTube and Instagram. But
Mhm.
I had to show them my insights. I had to show them where people are listening from. I did show my Instagram insights at that time, and they were like, yeah, so we'll give you a percent, like for how I'm like, no, we're gonna do one flat rate.
Yeah.
And then when I proceed to go to the next level, either I get a flat rate, or you send me a product worth that money.
Yeah.
It's not one or the other. It's either you pay me or you give me a product worth it. And it's scary because a lot of kids now are getting picked up on TikTok really quickly. Like I posted a throwaway video on TikTok. I don't know, because I haven't posted on my TikTok in ever, because I'm old and I don't like TikTok because I'm old and I have ADHD. And I just like, by the time the only reason I'm on TikTok right now is to watch Vanderpump Rules stuff. If it's not Vanderpump Rules, I ain't watching it. So I just sort of it had like 3,000 views. And I was like, My previous videos got 5. Okay. I don't understand. There's no in between here. I have like 5 followers on TikTok at this point. And the thing is, you start to get up quick, and you have these brands trying to take advantage of you because you don't know,
Yeah.
and you're just so excited to be like, oh my
Yes.
God, like guys, I've made it. Like I have my first sponsorship deal. Like I'm gonna be the next James Turner. I'm gonna be rolling in this fucking money. Me and
No.
little Simsies are just gonna call it. I'm just gonna call her Kel, and like we're gonna be best friends. But that's not true. It's if
No.
I get people all the time, they'll be like, Stassi, I think you'd be the best ambassador for coffee. I have the same people reach out to me every week. And I say the same thing back. I live in Canada. This is a US based company. And if you listen to my content, you know I don't drink coffee. So why would you think I would be the best influencer? Because I wouldn't be. And it was weird. Like I had some, like my mom called me an influencer this past weekend. And I was like, I don't influence anybody to do anything besides scream at EA to have better representation. Okay. Like that is what I influence people.
Yes.
I don't want to sell products. I don't know. Like how
No,
does
me
that feel for
neither.
you? Right?
I don't want to sell products. Now, like making ads, like with the working with EA, like I'm technically selling their products because I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, buy these packs because they're on sale, or
Yeah.
But like, I love The Sims, and I genuinely, that's all that my content is about. So yes, I'm gonna sell that product because that's what I do. But if
Mhm.
it's like the Smart Sweets thing or any other candy or coffee or food company, unless it's like Coca-Cola or some gigantic company, I'm not gonna do that.
Right? I was very picky and choosy. So
I am too.
I was part of Colgate's 12 Days of Christmas last year. So I got
Oh, cool.
Here's the thing though. I still have the product here to remind myself. I got the kids day.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
What?
I legit got kids day. I got the kids stuff. And then
God.
I got Paw Patrol stuff because all the people listen to me are moms.
Oh.
And then, but I just got like for being a Canadian, I got Chapman's ice cream, which was a huge deal. I was like, oh my God, I will plug this shit. This is my childhood. But I'm also, if Adobe, you looking for something, call me up. I'll take a free membership for you. But I like that when you say Coco. Okay, so Jen here, marketing manager. I'm gonna give you a sponsorship deal with any company in the world. Who are you going with and why?
Oh gosh. If I hadn't worked with EA already, I would say EA.
Mm-hmm.
But Starbucks, I know I said
Okay.
I'm not work with like coffee, but Starbucks, I mean, or let me tell you my top 3.
Lay
Starbucks,
on.
Coca-Cola, or hold on. My brain is like flipping through all the brands that I love. Hold on. Oh, maybe like Apple. That would
Oh,
be huge. That would be huge. They don't really work with a lot of people. I don't see influencers working with them. So that would be like life-changing and weird, but maybe.
that I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. I think I would say Adobe, Netflix,
Ooh.
um, and McDonald's.
Ooh, oh my, I literally have McDonald's in there. That's what I got for breakfast.
Oh my God, girl, you're okay. So me and Nardville and Jannard, we're
Uh-huh.
currently doing no sugar all month. We are 11 days into no sugar and low carb. I would give my left tit right now for a sausage muffin and an orange juice.
I literally just had the hotcakes with syrup.
Oh,
So,
describe it. I want some food porn. Just was it good? Anybody listening being like,
what?
what?
Well, but I used to hate like the butter, and like I used to just eat them plain, but now
Mhm.
I do the butter and then the freaking syrup, and then I cut it up, and then and it's
Mm.
still warm. The butter's all melted. Oh, so good.
My stomach's like caving in.
gonna make you relapse on your sugar
Oh
diet.
no, we're me and Nard, we're in it, man. We every day we check in with one another.
Oh,
Because
that's so good that you
like
have like an accountability partner.
it was both of it. We were in a midst of doing our sobriety because I have two
Yeah.
series. I have Unplugged, which is this, and then I have Real Life with Stassi, which is what we talk about real life topics. And Nard has actually been on all 5 episodes as this is currently being filmed, but as this will come out, there'll be more. And we were like, let's do a no sugar, let's do low carb, let's do it the month of June. And we literally talked about it in the sobriety podcast, and then we're like, we're gonna stick with it. And yeah, it's rough. But I've lost like 8 pounds in
Oh wow.
11 days. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm only eating chicken breast, almonds, lettuce, and
No,
strawberries.
sounds like hell for me.
But I want to switch topics, but we'll come back to Sims in a little bit. We're both getting married this year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You look well put together. You don't look like you're pulling your hair out. I'm pulling my hair out currently because I'm getting married in September. You're getting married in October, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nard's getting married in November.
Yeah.
So, how's the wedding planning going?
Okay. I know you don't physically see me pulling my hair out, but mentally it's in the front of my mind all the time. Like, Danielle, you owe this much money. You got to book the cake and the flowers, and you got to go get your dress, the sleeves added to your dress, and the boob part fixed on your dress. Like, so many things have to be done. But all the big things are done. Like, the photographer's booked, the videographer's booked, the venue is booked, the hair and makeup is booked. The only thing we have to do is finish paying it off,
Mm-hmm.
get the cake done, or I don't even know what kind of cake I want. I'm very simple. Like, I just want one of those little minimalistic, like
Mm-hmm.
barely any icing on it, because I don't really like icing. But and so what did I say? The cake, oh, and flowers,
Yes.
which I'm kind of worried about. I don't know if I want real or fake flowers, because I don't know.
Can I offer you some advice?
Yeah.
Okay, so don't use real flowers. Anybody who's listening, if this comes at me, don't care. Real flowers are really expensive. Um,
Yeah.
I used to be a manager at Michael's craft store.
You've
Um,
worked everywhere. What?
I have worked everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
On my resume, like if I did a full resume, I have had 40 jobs since I've been 15
Oh
years old.
my gosh.
Spanning from Disney princess, because I used to go to birthday parties
Oh
pretending
my
to be a
gosh.
princess.
Oh.
I have taught dance.
What?
I used to be a sales manager for paper. So basically the office. I'm living out the office dream. I've been a graphic designer. I've been a social media manager. I have my red seal. So I'm a chef. I've done a lot of things. I've never wanted to live. I don't know. I've always just wanted to have a unique life. I never wanted to be my real name, Jen, being this. Like right now, I have a job where I work in the fire industry. Nothing where I went to school for, like nothing, but it pays
Yeah.
just as much as a marketing job, if not
Oh wow.
right. So it's anyways, interesting. Long story short, so when I used to work at Michael's, we had custom flowers. You know, you could get custom flower arrangements. And the lady who worked at our center was named Robin, and she owned her own flower shop for 40 years, and then she sold it to her kids. And she was like a retired lady but just wanted to make flowers on the side. And she told me, don't ever buy real flowers for your wedding. They die 3 days later, and you just spend $3,000 on dead flowers 3 days later. Buy,
No.
buy silk flowers, good silk flowers. They last forever. But then what you can do after, return of investment, sell them.
Okay.
So that's what we did. I went to Michael's, got like, because I've been engaged since 2019, and we were supposed to get married in 2021 and 2022, but the pandemic
Oh, yeah.
moved and shifted things. So I went on Michael's when they had the spring, because if depending on what theme you want to go for, spring and summer have the best time for like purple, white, and pink flowers. Anyway, so long as I ordered them. It cost me $350 for all of my flowers.
Oh,
And then
wow.
I'll turn around and sell it after. So my advice to you, you don't have to take it if you don't want to, but go fake. Take everything that you can get and turn around and flip it after. Make money back off the stuff you bought.
Oh, yes. I definitely need to do that because
Yes.
weddings are so expensive. And if you have a budget, you're gonna go over it. Just know that.
Can I ask you what your budget is? I'm just curious.
Yeah, my budget. So it was around like, this is gonna sound so low, but it was like 7,000. We wanted to go low because we knew we were gonna go up. So if we set it at like 20, then we
Yeah.
would have been like, oh, we have 20,000. No, we were like, let's do 7 or 8. And so ended up being about 13.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Reason being is like kind of low still is because our venue isn't technically a venue. Like it's at my family's neighborhood. They have like it's like a gated community. It's very nice and pretty. It's on the water.
Mm-hmm.
Um there's this place called there's like Spanish moss trees outside everywhere and it's super pretty. I grew up going there every summer and I love it. So I was like, let's just get married here, like whatever.
Yeah.
So my aunt who lives there was like, I'll pay for the venue, I'll pay for the clubhouse because it's not even expensive. It's just like a couple, like $20 a night, I think. So, but to rent it out for a wedding, of course, once they heard the word wedding, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
let's add $1,000. But I mean, she still paid for it. So that was really nice. Um, so yeah, I still have about $6,000 to pay off, but yeah.
Hey, I got you. I thought ours was gonna come in at 20.
Hmm.
I think we'll end at 25.
Oh wow.
I think that's where we'll end. The venue is most of that. So
Yeah.
because we want, like, what you're doing is smart. Listen to Danielle. Don't do what I did. Don't get a venue where it's like 150 pop a head. Okay. Don't do that. It's
Mhm.
expensive. But at the time, I mean, I live in Ontario. There's not really much. Either you get married at a barn, a golf club, which is where I'm getting married, or in a church. Those are your three
That
options.
sounds like Alabama. Those were our options. And I was
Yeah.
like, let's think outside of the box. So I live in Alabama, but we're getting married in Georgia. So Georgia is like to the right of Alabama, just above Florida.
Yeah.
We're getting married in south of Savannah, Georgia, which is like it's in a city called Townsend. It's right on the edge of I don't know how to word this, like the where the water ocean starts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's like a 6 hour drive. So, oh, also invitations. I have them here. I just have to like
Mm-hmm.
I order them on Zola, so it comes with the envelope and the invitation, but you have to put the invitation inside the envelope and close it up and add the stamp yourself. I so that's what I have to do this week. I'm gonna get Andrew, my fiance, to help me because I really don't want to do that by myself. We have like 60 invitations and we're
Okay.
inviting like 150 people, but I only expect like 70 to show up, if that,
Yeah.
just because it's 6 hours away. Like that's a big
Mhm.
commitment.
Hey, that's actually something we're in the same boat. I'm about to get my invitations made. You're a little further out than me if you're sending out invitations now and you're getting married in
Yeah.
October. We should get our invites back by July. I'm going with, because I used to work in the print industry. I know insiders that I can still get very cheap stuff. We're gonna do gold foil, and the only reason I can do that because I'm only paying $1.10 an invite doing it that way.
Yeah.
Right. But we finally figured out last week that we're inviting 130 people, and I truly only think that like 100 will show up.
That's
Like I'm
still so many people.
it's a lot of people. But our venue has a minimum 100. So 85 show up,
Oh,
we still pay in 100, right?
ooh,
So yeah, and that's something brides or grooms or anyone getting married, pay
yes.
attention to that. Like make sure, like we were just like, oh, like finding 100 people won't be a problem. It gets harder when you get older to try to find 100 people to invite to wedding. That's
Yes.
not just like family and like second,
Yeah.
third, and fourth cousins. But I saw you said yes to your dress. What was it like putting on a wedding dress?
Oh my
Did you cry?
God. Yes. Well, okay, this is gonna get emotional.
Okay.
I did cry because my mom passed away when I was 13, and we always talked about like going wedding dress shopping. And when I put my first dress on, I just started crying, and everyone was like, "Oh, are you so happy?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm happy." But I was really sad because if I said no, I miss my mom, then everybody would be like, "Oh no, Danielle, let me give you a hug," and then I would have cried even harder. So
Hmm.
I was like, "Let me just lie." So yes, I cried during the first few dresses because I was just really emotional, like in a bad way. But then when I found the tears, and I was happy for me, and oh my gosh, the dress that I got, I'm gonna try not to spill too many details, even though I wish I could just literally show you a picture right now. But I never, ever, ever, ever thought I would get like a fitted,
Hmm.
any type of fitted. Like in my head, I envisioned myself like in a ball gown or like a
Hmm.
something that flares past the waist.
Yes.
But the girl that was helping me try on dresses, after I tried on ball gowns, she was like, "Let me get you a mermaid." And I was
Hmm.
like, "Okay." So I put it on and I looked in the mirror and I'm like, that is not my body. Like, what happened? What? Like, my stomach was not there. And I'm like, hello? Like, I'm overweight. Like, I'm very curvy. But with that comes with like a belly.
Hmm.
And sometimes I look pregnant at certain angles because I carry my weight in my stomach. So whenever I turn to the side, like the fabric is so thick and nice, it just flattened. And I'm like, what? Who am I? Oh my God. And then I really like looked really close at the details and I'm like, my God. And then I started crying and I'm like, this is my dress. And there's like a picture of me crying. I'm like doing this to my eyes. Oh, I started crying because you put the veil on. I felt
Yeah.
like I was on Say Yes to the Dress. I love that show. But yes, I cried, good and sad tears.
You definitely have to send me a picture after.
I will.
Yeah, because I got you. I never wanted a body tight dress. I didn't go with I went with a ball gown. I went with
Oh yeah.
I went with an older style. So like my dress is from like 2007, but
Ooh,
it's a classic beaded princess style.
timeless.
It's timeless. That's
Yes.
exactly it. I wanted to look back at my wedding photos and it could have been any time period.
Yes.
That was very important to me. So there was a lady that was closing up shop and she had her entire basement was covered in dresses. So I went and all dresses were $350.
Oh
So
wow.
I went and I tried a whole bunch on and I went with my maid of honor and my man of honor because I have both because my best
Ooh.
friend is a guy and it would be so weird if he stood on my fiance's side because he's
Yeah.
my best friend. But like my fiance is also having a girl on his side because that's his best friend. It would be
Okay,
weird if
cool.
she, yeah, it'd be weird if she stood up on my side. Not that I don't love her dearly,
Yeah.
but it's his best friend. Anyway, as long as I so we went and I tried on a couple dresses and then she comes in, she's like, I was saving this one for the special person. I mean, she's a salesperson. I'm sure she says that to everybody. But as someone who's on sales, yes, you usually say that. But she's like, this was one of my special favorite ones. Try it on. So I put it on. It fits my body perfectly. And she's like, it is from a Greek designer. He made it for like he and pictured what his wife would be wearing. And my fiance is Greek. So as soon as she said that and she put a veil on me, I fucking cried. Cause like say yes to the dress, like cause I used to be a TLC girl. Okay, so Friday nights is Cake Boss and say yes to the dress. So I never
Yes.
missed a Friday. I was like, bitches don't cry when you put your wedding dress on. I put
I
on,
know.
right?
Me.
And I was just like, okay, I bought it and it still needs to be altered. And then, but I compromised because I wanted a long sleeve wedding dress. It's always had.
So do I.
So I bought a second dress off for a Facebook Marketplace for $75. Has
Hmm.
the $1,000 price tag still on it. Her man cheated on her and she wanted shit gone. So I bought this dress off her for $75 and it
Oh,
is stunning. So
wow.
and then I had a third dress I'm going to change into after that. So I have the ball gown for the reception. ball gown for the ceremony, long sleeve for the reception. And then me and my fiance won a bridal shoot for free a couple years ago because I wanted to see I'm a pretty pasty white person. I was concerned as shit putting a white dress on me that I would just look dead. So,
No.
oh, yeah, I look dead. Fears are
No.
true. I got to change the hair color because it's too light. It's light on light on light, right? So, anyways, we did this shoot. It was really nice. So I still have the dress that I bought. I'm gonna take it to the shortest layer and just make it into a dancing dress all night because as soon as I'm on the D floor, I don't get off the D floor. I dance the entire night away. And I don't know if you've seen on TikTok that brides are cutting their dress with fucking kitchen scissors at
No.
like 8 p.m. at night because they want a short dress.
I will not be doing that because my dress was $3,000. Yes, yeah, I know. But once you see it, you'll be like, okay, that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot happening with it.
Oh fuck yeah. No, if the dress I got it for $350. If I had to pay full price, it was $5,000.
Oh wow.
Because it has a 9-foot train built into the back that's detachable.
Okay, cool.
And I'll show you the pictures. But I would never spend. That's a lot of money.
I know.
That's a used car. That's a
Yeah,
used car.
talk about the scams that bridal shops do, and just basically.
Yeah.
So when I tried on the dress, fit like a glove, and also the sizes in wedding dresses, I don't know if it's different in Canada, but I'm usually around like a 14, 16, 18, sometimes a 12, like you know how sizes work these days. So I was expecting to get like a 14 or a 16 in a wedding dress, and they were like, no, you're gonna have to go up to like a 20 or 22.
Yeah.
And I'm like, have I gained weight and I haven't realized it? And they're like, no, wedding dresses run super, super great for my mind to know that I have to wear the size because I'm like weird about sizes and stuff. I shouldn't be, but I am. So I don't remember what size they put out. I think it was a 20 or 22, but it fit like a glove. And I was like, okay. So they were gonna order that same dress because they have to keep the one that I tried on for display purposes.
Yeah.
So they were like, I saw her write down on like the order sheet like 26. And I was just looking and I'm like, I was like, what size are you ordering in there? She's like, oh, we're gonna go up a couple sizes just so you can have room to grow into it. I'm like, wait, what do you mean grow into it? I'm not a fucking toddler. Like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, we always order a little bit bigger. I'm like, okay. Then I go home and I think about it. I'm like, oh, you're ordering bigger so that I can pay $1,000 in alteration so that you can cut it up and make it fit perfect, even though it already fits perfect in the size 20 or whatever.
Yep.
So I went to try on my dress the other day because it came in, like my dress came in, and like it was like cupping where my boobs are. Like I look down, I could see my boobs, and like on the side, it's hanging off of me. I didn't feel good in it.
Nope.
Like I didn't cry in it. I wasn't really happy. And the girl was like, "You don't look as happy as you did when you first tried it." I'm like, "Yeah, because this doesn't fit me." And she's like, "Well, we're gonna alter it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And you're gonna charge me like $5 million probably
To
so
make you to alter, even though the first one fit just
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
I get it adding like, so say it's a 20, if they can do like 22,
Yeah, literally.
just in case.
Yes.
Because let's be honest, when you're planning a wedding, like I was planning the wedding and the pandemic, I gained 45 pounds in the I looked like a completely different person.
Me too.
And I've lost it all now. But it's just like it's stressful. Like you make it get a tiny bit, but not
3 or 4 sizes.
Yeah. Because my wedding dress is a 12 and it's snug now. I'm altering it to have a corset back because I'm having I want to be able to feel comfortable while I'm in that. I don't want to have a zipper compressed. And to be honest with you, I just kind of want to have chicken nuggets. Okay. And I'm going to get the night before my wedding. I'm eating chicken nuggets and an iced tea. Okay. I'm going to be fucking bloated walking into my wedding. I'm not doing the 48-hour detox for your not eating before your wedding. No. I picked a dress that would fit my body. I didn't pick a dress that I would have to change my body for.
Yeah, me either.
And I know you talked about something about the sizes. Girl, I got you. I thought I was gonna get a fucking size 6. And they like put on a size 14 and I was like, what the fuck is
I
this? Like
know.
I'm
Yeah.
not a 14. So I've spoken openly about this. So I used to have an eating disorder. I was actually rehabbed for it before I was 18.
Aw, yeah.
I was going to die. I was so skinny. I was staring death in the face every day. And body dysmorphia, I've always had it. I look in the mirror right now and I think I see I'm 700 pounds. I look like, and I know like a movie that really resonated with me in the last year was Whale.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, I
oh my
saw that.
God.
Freaking bald my
I
eyes
I
out.
bawled my eyes out. I fucking
Yeah.
bawled my eyes out. Like it was so like it's so hard to when you're in your mind like that and you just
Yeah.
look and you're never happy. Like last year we went to a cottage. I because I used to be a two-piece bathing suit girl. But when I gained
Yeah.
a lot of weight, I said, I'm still gonna rock a two-piece. A girl came up to me and told me I was brave.
She's brave for saying that to you.
I turned around. I was like, the healthcare professionals are the people that are brave right now. I'm just doing me. Have a great rest of your life. I was brave, and that comment has
Okay.
sat with me for over a year now. That I was brave.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That is
It's
awful.
just weird. You wouldn't show up to a skinny girl wearing baggy clothes.
Yeah.
You're
You're
brave.
so brave.
You're so
No.
brave.
Yeah, no.
No, or it's just, oh, it's gross. And then again, it pries on your insecurities as women because we're all compared with one another. And
Yeah.
because like we're like, oh, we're supposed to be curvy. Oh, we're supposed to be skinny. Oh, well, now it's cool to have boobs. Now it's not okay to have boobs. Now you need to have a butt. Now you can't have a butt. Like it's the fuck like it's always continuously changing. And then we compare ourselves to the Instagram models that we see on Instagram being like, well, why can't my body look like this? And then
Yeah.
it takes a minute to realize that not every body is like that. And it's also photoshopped. It's
Oh yeah.
photoshopped. It's not real. Right.
Nope.
But like, especially for dresses, like they pry on you because that's that moment, right? You're the bride. We want the dress to fit. We want to fit you like gloves. We're going to order it a couple sizes bigger. No, they're just more money. It's the wedding tax. I
Yes.
swear to fucking God, I'm tired of the word wedding tax.
Yeah, just like I was saying, like with our venue, like
Yeah.
as soon as we said wedding, we're like, oh, wedding,
Wedding.
we're gonna charge like 1,500 more than we said.
Yeah. But if it was like I'm having a party with 100
Yeah.
people, it's a celebration. Oh, cool. It's a celebration. 2,000. Wedding,
Yeah.
15.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same like with wedding cakes and flowers and everything.
Yeah.
I stopped saying wedding.
Oh yeah, you
I
just have
stopped.
to say it's a like an event. I have an
Yep.
event.
I have an event. I'm an event coordinator. I'm just planning an event. And this, yeah, I learned that too late.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to ask this because I was just talking about this with my photographers this week. Are you guys doing first looks?
Um, at first I didn't think I wanted to, but now I think I want to because I saw a TikTok or some kind of video or maybe a post where someone was like, I'm so glad I did a first look because it took so much stress off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like just seeing each other because you love each other so much and just looking at each other, you're able to be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be okay because they're here. And, I think I'm going to because I am a very anxious person and I just know I'm gonna be a mess that day, like for the first part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just want everything to be perfect. And then, once I see Andrew, I just know that I'll be like, ah, okay, everything's fine. Everything will be fine. So yes, I think I'm going to.
I like that. I was anti it because I want our first reactions to be in front of everybody, but we're gonna do a first touch.
Okay, I saw that
Yeah,
too.
so there's a giant like old wall because it like where we're getting married was like an 1812 building. It's a very old building. So there's this, and we're gonna stand on the other side of it and hold each other's hands and read a love letter to each other just to have that special intimate moment because everyone keeps telling me they're like, make sure that you make time for you and Jason on your wedding day because you're going to be pulled in so many different
My
directions.
gosh, yeah.
So just like try to find those cute moments. And I'm like,
Yeah.
let's do first touch. And then we
Yeah.
can literally just like have that cute moment to
Mhm.
ourselves. But I'm excited to hear all about your wedding. I'm excited to see it. By the time this comes out, we'll already be married women. I
My
think
gosh, we're gonna have a husband when this
we're
is
gonna
out.
have a husband.
You? That's
I just
so
I just want to just I literally Jason last night he was at a party and he was messaging me and he's like, I every time I think about you every day, if I had a flower, I would have the Garden of Eden because I love you so, so
oh,
much. And my life, you've improved my life so much. And because of you, I am the man I am today.
oh my God.
I was like,
Got me tearing up and
holy shit. And like we've been together for 7 years and people think we're in our first year of like dating because that's how still in love we are with each other. Like we
oh,
hang on to each other's last like words when we speak.
oh, that's so sweet. I've been with Andrew, it'll be 7 years next month too.
Oh my gosh. You are legit high school sweethearts then.
Yeah, I was 15. It was on my 15th birthday when we met.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's so cute. Okay, I gotta ask if you want to share. I know you met on your 15th birthday now, but like was it a birthday party? Like was he just happened to be in the same room?
It was okay, so it was not out in public. I was like, this is so not romantic, but it says this is just gonna be the modern day, like how people meet their husbands. Okay, so you're gonna cringe at this, and I'm sorry to anyone who's listening. Cringe alert. Okay, so I, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I was on Snapchat, being the flirty 15-year-old, just turned 15. I'm about to gonna get my driver's permit. I'm so cool. Let me post let me send to everyone. It's my birthday. Add I think I was on Instagram and like posted add me on Snapchat. And
Mhm.
so somebody added me and then I started getting like mutual like friend suggestions and I saw this guy named Andrew and his little bitmoji was cute. I was like, let me add him. And so I added him. And then we just started Snapchatting. And I thought he was weird and stupid and annoying. I'm sorry, Andrew. Um, he was creepy and weird. But then we met in person. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm just stupid and I don't know how to like interact online. So in person, he was so sweet and cute and not creepy or weird at all. I'm just crazy and I interpret things the wrong way. Um, but he is still nerdy, but like in a good way. So we met in person at the mall, but I had a boyfriend at the time that we met. So we were just friends. Just me and
Mhm.
Andrew were just friends. Like I had a little boyfriend, not even really a boyfriend because we didn't even kiss or hug. We just like were friends, but we called each other boyfriend and girlfriend.
Mhm.
So then he ended up cheating on me, which whatever. So then Andrew like started becoming like obsessed with me, but not in a creepy way, just always texting me every second of the day. And I was like, okay, Andrew's like, he likes me. And so he came over to my house and we were like in my room, we were just hanging out and I was like, are you hungry? He said, yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna make you a sandwich. And I did, and that's still like a joke to this day because like, go make me a sandwich. You know what I mean? So then we went outside and we had been talking for like a couple months and
Mhm.
we were like sending hearts over text, so it was getting serious. And then he was like, let's go outside. And I was like, why? And then I got butterflies in my stomach because I was like, oh my God, he's either about to ask me out or kiss me or do something crazy. I'm scared. So I was like nauseous. I'm like, oh my God. My heart was racing. I was so scared. And he was like, Danielle, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, and then at that same spot outside, like couple months later, we had our first kiss out there. And then we literally just turned on music and we just hugged and danced for hours, hours, hours. I mean, we still are so in love, but that we were so in love. We were so young. Gosh, we were so young. But it's so weird to think back. Like, I thought I was so mature and old back then. But now I look back, I'm like, you're so stupid, Danielle. You were a baby. I'm still a baby. Like, I'm gonna look back on this podcast years later and be like, Danielle, shut up.
Well,
But yeah, that's kind of how we met and our little story. Not the most romantic thing, but it's kind of romantic.
well, I love that. Thank you for sharing. Do you want to hear how me and Jason met?
Yes.
Okay. So you hear you're like, you know how this is classic love story? Anyone in their 30s, baby, you know how we met? We met on Tinder.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
I had just gotten out of, so I dated my high school sweetheart from 15 to 23. Uh,
Aw.
he decided that he wanted to sleep with everybody that was not me. So
Oh,
we broke up. I didn't know he cheated on me at that point. I had fallen out of love with him. I mean, the relationship had literally just run its course.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm 23 years old. I'm on my own. I'm living with my roommate, which was my best friend. I have my life put together. I haven't been single since I was 15 years old, so I don't know how to date because
Oh
I
my gosh,
dated.
that's so fun.
Yeah, so I joined Tinder, sowed some oats because girls got to get it.
Uh-huh.
And I had just it was October 16th, 2014, sorry, October 14th, 2016, when my now fiance messaged me. But the night before, so adding lists to jobs, I used to be obviously still a baker, went to culinary school for baking. And I used to do it like on the side. So I made 250 cupcakes for the International Adoption Day. So they're cat and dog themed.
Oh.
I got like, it was like really late. I went to bed late and I woke up to this message and it was from Jason. And I didn't like, I was at this point, I wasn't even learning names. Like
Mhm.
I was Bob the Builder. There was Naked for You. There was Mustache Guy. I'm not even kidding you. Like I was just like and I also was like 90 pounds soaking wet. I had abs. I was like crop top and like as soon as I left my ex, I lost 250 pounds in one day and then I lost 80 pounds later. I
Oh.
lost him and then lost all my angry weight. Oh, I had a revenge body. Like I had the
I
definition of
love that.
body. Because I wanted him to know that you will never, you know, like Taylor Swift, like I bet you think about me. I bet you he thinks about me still.
Oh, I know he does.
Oh, like he leveled down. There was no
Yeah.
ever leveling up from me. And I know
Mhm.
that's like I know we've only been talking for an hour, and I'm not usually that cocky, but when it comes to him, whoever his was
Sometimes
leveled
you
down.
just have to be cocky. It's not always a bad thing.
Right. So anyway, so I started messaging and Jason had a purple mohawk in his photo because he was a
Oh
soft.
my goodness.
So I was like, it's purple mohawk guy. He was the teacher. He was fucking smart. That's literally because it's like I'm a teacher and like he's like I was from Toronto, but I live. So I
Yeah.
message him and he's like, I like John Oliver, Batman, and Sailor Moon because that was in my profile. I was like, I'm not your typical girl you'll meet. I'll make a dinner. We'll talk about John Oliver and we'll watch Sailor Moon. I don't
Mhm.
do hookups anymore. Bye. And he's
Yeah.
like, I like all these things. And then 20 minutes later, I'm like, let's just text. And then we continue to chat. And then that is like, we're now looking at one. I was going to work because I used to work 1 to 9s. And I was like, I want to meet you. I want to meet you tonight. And he did. He's like,
Oh
he
my
canceled
God.
all of his plans. I went after work. I went and then we went for a drink. And as soon as I met him, I was like, we are twins. We are the same person. He's a little older than me. He's 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
But we're twins. We talk the same, we walk the same, we're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
But I was so concerned that we were so similar that it just wouldn't work out.
Mhm.
But I go back to his house. We watch Rick and Morty because he questioned me being a nerd. Because I was like, I love Rick and Morty. And he's like, and at this time, like, guys, like, don't come at me. Like, Rick and Morty was like the niche nerdiest shit. Okay. Like, this was like 5 people watched Rick and Morty. This is
It
before
was
Pickle
before
Rick.
it was cool.
It was before it was cool because he watched
Yeah.
Rick and Morty. And because I know Intergalactic Cable, the Two Brothers song. So like two brothers in a van and a meteor hit and it ran as fast as they could from giant cat monsters. That's when things got knocked into 12th gear. Like I knew the whole song. So he puts it on and I start verbatim from word. And he's like, okay, like you're like legit. So anyways, I meet him. The next week, I have bronchitis. I was the sickest I'd ever been in my 20s. I have to cancel on him. But I was like, I can't. Can we go in a couple days when I feel better? And then I met him again on the following Wednesday. And then I got myself invited to his Halloween party. So we're 2 weeks in. He kisses me on Halloween. I'm the sluttiest cat. Okay. I was like, when am I gonna be a slutty cat? Like the Lululemon like running shorts, but girls just put them under dresses. No, that's what I wore. I wore those shorts and I wore a lace bodysuit.
Oh my.
Bloody makeup. And I 6-inch heels, baby. I looked like a cattle walking down the street. And he opens the door and some girls like, who are you? Because none of his friends had met me yet. I was like, I'm here for Jason. He like pushes that bitch out of the way, looks at me, and he's like, you can do that. And then our first kiss was that night, and then he was going to ask me to be his girlfriend on November 8th, 2016. For anybody who remembers that day, that is the day that Donald Trump became president. So we waited the next day, so we would not be constantly reminded the day that we started dating was the same day that Donald Trump was president. And then we've been inseparable ever since.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh, it's like, I mean, relationships are hard. Like no one ever talks to you like what it's like to be in a relationship, especially when mental health comes into a factor.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So like I've been wanting to bring this up, but like you said that you were worried about like being too similar. Well, I was worried about that too because Andrew and I literally like I say all the time we're literally twins because like now that we live together and everything, like we'll be watching something or we'll be talking about something and we'll just be like say the same thing at the same time, literally without missing a beat. It happens multiple times a week, sometimes multiple times a day, and I'm like, this is scary and gross. Stop. But like I secretly love it because it's so cool.
Yeah.
So, but I was worried when that first started. We've always done that. But then I got to know him more. I realized we're not so similar because when it comes to emotions, I am very open and I feel things extremely deeply and very strong. When I cry, I'm gonna boo-hoo and tears and snot everywhere and spitting like when I cry, I cry. Even if it's over the stupidest thing. And when I'm mad, oh, I'm mad. And when I'm happy, I'm very happy. And Andrew, I love you, Andrew, but he's so, I don't know how to say it, the opposite of what I just said. He's sad, whatever. He's mad, whatever. He's happy, whatever. Like, if he hurts my feelings on accident, I'll be like, you hurt me so bad. I hate you. Why would you say that? And he's like, sorry. Like, he doesn't see, I'm dramatic. Like, if you couldn't tell. So if he does something stupid, like says, I don't know, I'm like, you hurt me, you broke my heart. And he's like, okay. But if it's something really serious, which is like rare, I'm like, Andrew, you genuinely are pissing me off. I hate you. But like, he knows I don't hate him. And he's like, Danielle, please. I'm like, can you just be dramatic with me, please?
Oh my God, Danielle.
I think I'm an actress in another life.
So it's funny you say that. So my fiance, heart on his sleeve, man that cries. Doesn't look like a man that would cry. He's got a man bun. He's got a beard. He's a burly man. He feels things. Like he'll literally just be like, like Jenny, like I'm having a really rough day. And I'm like, how can we fix? I'm a fixer. So I'm like, talk to me. How do we fix the problem? Now I know after, counseling and like, he just wants me to listen. He doesn't want me to fix his problems. He just wants me to listen.
No, I'm like, Andrew, I had a really rough day, and he has a hard time, like, he's not really up to par with like mental health. Like, he's so normal, quote unquote. Like, he doesn't have any, I mean, everybody has issues, obviously, but he doesn't have any major issues. He's not diagnosed with anything. And if he went
Mhm.
to go get checked out, he would not be diagnosed with anything because he's so perfect. Like, his mind is just, normal.
Mhm.
Like, SpongeBob, hi, I'm normal. That's him.
Yeah.
He's that little norm guy. And I have a spicy mind. I have OCD, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have binge eating disorder. That's why the whale really, really, the
Mhm.
scene where he's just, boom, 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 I was bawling my eyes out. I'm like, this is how I look all the time. And it was really depressing. So, anyway, when I was watching, Andrew and I watched that together.
Mhm.
And he's like, I'm like crying. And he's like, why are you crying? I'm like, because that's me. And he's like, no, it's not. And I'm like, that's how I look in the kitchen when you're asleep, Andrew. You don't see it. And he's like, oh.
Yeah. It can be hard, especially if something that like me and Jason used to fight about a lot is he would be really upset over something and I couldn't understand
Yeah.
why because it was kind of like to me spilt milk.
Yeah.
But knowing my mind, you know how you're like, oh, like I'm SpongeBob, I'm fine. I'll be like, oh man, I'm so mad right now. Okay, so like it's literally like a Sims anger. Again, there's no repercussions with me when I'm sad, angry, like I'm usually just pretty sad. I try to live a very positive light. I usually
Yeah.
spin things around. I don't negative thoughts when they creep in, they come right out pretty quick. Where for him, negative like stays in. I we used to play this game at my old job called like Would You Rather. I mean, everyone plays the game, but my coworkers like, would you rather be happy or dumb or smart and sad? And I literally looked at her and I said, well, baby girl, I'm happy dumb every day. Okay. Brain cells ain't come to save me. I asked the question to my fiance and I'm like, happy or dumb or sad or smart? And he's like, Jenny, I love you, but I'm sad and smart. I'm sad and smart every day. I'm always very sad. And I was like, I'm so sorry you feel that way. Like it was just like in that moment of just seeing on the other side of my mind is always like, like the new Barbie movie coming out.
Mhm.
That is my mind. Like it's just always so happy and pink and always I'm a glass half full person. Where for
Yeah.
him, he could look like, oh my God, like everything's dying around me.
It's
Look at
like Eeyore.
yeah, exact. Well, that's exact. Winnie the Pooh versus Eeyore. Winnie the
Yeah.
Pooh can't resonate with Eeyore. Eeyore cannot resonate with Winnie the Pooh because there are two different mind states. It's
Yeah.
crazy to think about. Yeah. Also, I'm like, you're not crying, right?
No,
Oh, okay. I heard a sniffle and the camera cut out.
I have allergies.
I was like,
No,
oh my God. I'm like, I don't make my guests cry.
no, I promise I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm constantly sniffling lately, especially like moving into this new house. There's like years of dust and cats, and I'm kind of allergic to cats. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's why.
I mean, it's also crazy that like, girl, you own a home. Like I said at the top of this, congratulations.
Thank you.
What like was this like a long time in the coming of buying a home, or did everything just kind of like fall into place?
Okay, a little bit of both. So, like, whenever we were like a couple years into our relationship, we were still only like 18 and 19.
Yeah.
But we were like, let's just look at houses and see what's available, like just for fun, because we can't have a house right now. We're still in school. But let's just see what our options are in the next couple years. So we started looking like I guess like 4 or 5 years ago, but not like seriously looking, just getting an idea of what we're gonna be working with. Um, and then whenever I turned 19, I was still living at home,
Hmm.
but I really wanted to move out. So we looked at houses and we just could not find anything at all. Like everything was super over budget, and the ones that were at our budget were like they had to be completely demolished and redone because they just did not have good bones. They're like rotting and there's mold everywhere and there's just like what? So then so I moved out and got an apartment. I settled with an apartment, which I really did not want to get one because it's just a waste of money in my opinion.
Hmm.
Because you don't own it. I don't know. But I got an apartment. I moved in August last year, moved out this month. Um, so we started really looking after the first couple months of living in the apartment because we were like, okay, I'm tired of paying this rent because we could just be paying the same amount for a house
Yeah.
or less. Like I lived in a 2-bed, 1-bath apartment. It was like 1,400 a month. And then our house payment for our 3-bed, 2-bath now is like 1,600. So
Yeah.
200 more a month for another bedroom and another bathroom. And you own it and you have a big yard and um, so we started looking and we're so lucky to have Andrew's mom's best friend. She's a realtor
Hmm.
and they've been best friends since Andrew was like 7 years old. So we knew to go to her. We're like, hey, this is how many rooms we want. This is where we want to look. This is our budget. And so we start looking together a couple months ago. We start touring houses. Um, we never find anything we like. Like from the pictures, they always look so good, but then whenever you go,
Yeah.
you can tell that the photos have been like edited. Um, so then we go see this house and we were like, yeah, this one is just we're just gonna go for fun. We're not gonna like this one. Because the pictures it looks so bad. Like old and I mean old isn't bad, but it just looked gross. I don't know,
Yeah.
like the carpet had stains on it. So we came in toward this one. And when we saw it in person, we were like, oh my gosh, wait, this is actually really, really nice. So we go in and it's like, wow, this looks nothing like the pictures, like in a good way. And we go into the bedroom and I'm like, Andrew, look under the carpet and see if there's wood. And he does. He's like, there's wood underneath. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we tell Megan, we're like, we want to put an offering on this house. She's like, okay, I think you should do this amount. And we're like, okay. And it was a little bit less than what they wanted.
Hmm.
I was like, there's no way they're gonna accept like a low ball offer. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
go higher. But they accepted it.
That's awesome.
Yes. And so we got to meet the seller. So we learned about the history of the house. It was born. It
It was
was
definitely
built
born.
born in 1956. Sisters who lived here. Um, and they like the house is kind of like two separate houses. Like there's ways to like block it off with like sliding doors and stuff. So
Hmm.
they wanted like their own house kind of cut in half. But then a woman moved in and she was kind of older and she lived here until she went into hospice care last year and then she passed away. So she didn't have many family members except for these like this couple.
Hmm.
And so she left the house to them because that's the only people she had. And so we got to meet them and they told us the history and they were so sweet and they left us a note and it made me cry and
Oh.
it's like welcome home. This house has lived through tears and hugs and many bottles of wine and it has seeped through to the very foundation and we hope you enjoy it. And they left us flowers. I'm like boohoo
Oh.
crying in front of the realtor and Andrew. They're like, what's wrong? I'm like, read this note. So we were very lucky to get a house that has been loved and lived in and um we I was able to add the woman on Facebook, the one that sold it to us.
Hmm.
So being able to just connect with the history of the house was we got super lucky because nobody really ever leaves a note to the new homeowners. Like usually it's us sending it up to them like please accept our offer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really a unique situation. We're super happy that we got this house.
Well, I'm so proud of you. And
Thank
it's
you.
you have so many amazing milestones coming ahead. First one, a
Yeah.
homeowner, and then you're gonna get married. And I'm just watching you grow, and
Oh.
I love that. You inspire the next generation of buying homes. Like
Yeah.
I don't own this home because I was like you when I was younger. I never wanted to rent. I wanted to own. I was never in the
Yeah.
opportunity to buy a home, and now the price of homes is like this
Oh
home
my gosh.
is worth like $1 million. I can't afford $1 million mortgage. We just can't
No.
do it, right? And like studio apartments in the city I live in go for 600,000.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just owning a home to us is just not priority, but we're asking everybody for money for the wedding, and then we're gonna
Oh my
take
gosh. Us too.
all well we're putting ours into a tax-free savings because in Canada they can it's a new account that tax-free savings for couples. You can put up to 10 grand a year, and then the government will contribute into it for first-time home buyers. So we were going to take all of the money we get from the wedding and after all the decor we sell and put it in there. and that will go towards our first home.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Since we're having a destination wedding, I know a lot of people aren't gonna make it, so they're gonna like feel bad and send us money, and then we'll be out of our wedding debt that we're in. So yeah.
Oh, we're gonna walk into the wedding debt with on our line of credit. I think probably $5,000 on our line of
Wow.
credits, and we're just gonna take the whatever wedding money we have and pay it
Mhm.
off.
That'll be paid off. That's not bad. I'm in like bride groups on Facebook, and I joined this one. Okay, so I'm nosy.
Yeah, oh,
Joined
yeah,
this group called Big Budget Brides. I'm not a big budget bride, but
yeah.
I wanted to see what the heck was going on in that group. So I joined and it was like, "What's your budget?" And I'm like, 100,000, but it's obviously not. Yeah, it made me want to throw up too. So I joined and there's all these like girls, they're so pretty. And I look at their profile and they just live in like Italy, but they're born in the US and they found a rich Italian husband. And they're like, "Hey,
Mm.
Bryce, my budget is 650,000 for the venue. What's a good venue in Italy?" And I'm like, "What? What?
What?
I
What?
don't think like that's like triple the price of my house. I
Yeah.
can't imagine." And I left the group because I felt uncomfortable. I don't belong here.
So, I was originally at a wedding party. We stopped being friends throughout the pandemic because we were clearly never supposed to be friends. It was all circumstance to why we were friends. But I was knee deep into her wedding party because she had 2 maid of honors. I was voted to be a maid of honor because I get shit done, and her
Uh-huh.
original maid of honor doesn't get shit done. So
Oh.
her mom was paying for her wedding. Her wedding cost her $60,000. I don't know where the 60,000 went, said and done, because she had no flowers. She had no decor, but she had a bouncy castle inside the venue.
What?
She had a bouncy castle
Oh gosh.
inside the venue. And
Hmm.
she had a custom dress made, 10 grand. It looks like it came
Oh.
from David's bridal.
Oh
I just
goodness.
but it's just kind of stuff like that. And she'd be because at that time we were talking about, she's like, "Oh, like it's just money." And I'm like, I don't have disposable income, okay?
Yeah.
Something that's $500, that is a quarter of my like, oh, I guess not anymore because I make more money. Like 1/6 of my pay I get a month. $500 is a lot of money to me.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, oh, I just got these like running shoes. They're like $600. It's fine. And I'm like, I got Kate Spade Keds on Facebook Marketplace for $50. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just sometimes it's gross and people just throw money around, especially they're like, oh, I have lots of money. Like, look at me. Something I've always say to Jason is, because I used to do social media, I'm like, they're poor, right? This is on like their like 8th line of credit and they can't pay it off. But
Yeah.
you don't know that. You just look at the photo, like, look at me, look how happy I am. I'm in Turks and Caicos. Look at the blue water. Again, 8th line of credit,
Mhm.
lots of money. Because there is a statistic in the States. If you had to get $1,000 out of your bank account today, not line of credit, not any investment, but just $1,000 cash flow, that would be hard for like 50% of people who just have $1,000 lying around. That's
Yeah.
crazy to think about because a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. But anyways, let's go back to happier topics. Let's talk about The Sims. Let's talk
Okay.
why we're here. So you like you are famous to being, in my opinion, the best ASMR. I always mess up by saying that building.
You're okay.
What created what inspired you to start making ASMR videos of Sims builds?
Okay, so it was such a random idea. And at first I did not think it would do well because I'm like, this is so niche and weird. Like, who is this gonna cater to? So I'm like building like a lake and I have the volume all the way up, which I usually didn't have that. And I was like really into ASMR, not like the whisper kind, but like people like cutting soap and like little foam stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It like puts me to sleep at night. So I'm like, how can I incorporate this into Sims? Like it's gonna be really hard. I don't want to whisper. That's like uncomfortable for me and a lot of other people. So I'm like, let me just like not add music to my videos and just turn the volume all the way up from the game and just see if that's like even a thing. So I did that and I posted it. And at first it didn't do that well, maybe like 20,000 views, which for me, with my number of followers, that was like less than 1/4 of my followers, so that's not really good.
Mhm.
So, um, then I started just doing it more because I felt like it had potential. Then finally, they started getting like millions of views. I'm like, okay. So then I kept putting hashtag Sims ASMR, hashtag Sims 4 ASMR,
Mhm.
so that if people look it up, all they will see is like me at the top because I started it technically.
Mhm.
A lot of people, so whenever I say that, it makes a couple people mad because they say you didn't start it, other people did it. So I like look into it and I'm like, okay, I'm looking up Sims ASMR and all I see are my videos. And I logged out of my account into like a new TikTok account and I look up
Yes.
Sims ASMR and all I see is Daniellebuilds, 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 and then a couple other creators who did it after I started and they like tag me for credit and stuff. I'm like, there's nobody else. Like it's just me. So then I just look up like Sims and I see a video from like a couple months before I started, and it's like a person in a different, they speak like Russian or a different language, and they have like, they sped up the video really fast and it's no music, just the game sounds. And they don't call it ASMR. They just do that. They don't call it Sims ASMR. They don't
Mhm.
like, I translated all the comments and like they're just like, wow, love your build. Like nobody is like, ooh, ASMR. So I'm like, I mean, technically, I guess I didn't start it, but I started Sims ASMR. Like
Yeah.
the Sims building ASMR, that those words put together, I did
Mhm.
start that. Like I know I did. Um, so anyway, a lot of people started also doing Sims building ASMR, which I don't mind. Like most of them tag me, a lot of people don't, but it's fine. I mean, just knowing that I have influence on people to want to copy me means that I'm doing something right, so it doesn't really bother me.
Hey, I love that. You literally ran so everybody else could walk.
Yeah.
I get told all the time, flattery is the best form of, oh, no, imitation is the best form of flattery. Whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah. So hey, but that's how trends start. You have to start. Someone has to start somewhere. Someone started a not so berry, which would have been little Simsy back in like 2017. It's taken off,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
So I think you started a new generation of Sims YouTube videos because yeah, like
Mhm.
normally it was speed builds, but there was always talking over or copy free
Yeah.
music or legacy challenges, but this was
Yeah.
different. And when I came across you, I want to say back in like 2021.
That's when
Yeah.
I first started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I did that was before I had started this.
Hmm.
Because I used to watch like Kelsey and Peachy K, James Turner, Delphini, and Little Simsy, like it was my full-time job. And then I started seeing your stuff start trickling, and I was like, oh, cool. This fucking community can do fucking anything. I love this. This is awesome. Um, and I remember you building iCarly because I was like, stupid fucking iCarly. Yeah, I grew up on because it was nostalgic because
Yeah.
it was just cool to see that like, oh my god, like someone built the house, like they're so talented, like holy shit,
Aw.
like they can do that stuff. And it just kind of it stems from there. And then other people start to be like, oh, like let's like, oh yeah, like Daniellebuilds, like she's like the it shit when it comes to ASMR. And I was like, I didn't even think you could do AMSAR in The Sims. And then I saw it was like makes sense. 100% makes sense because that like
Yeah.
we know the sounds. If you have even put a fucking tile on
Mhm.
anything, you know the sounds, and I find it relaxing. I just find it
Yes.
like soothing, like resting the mind. Like you said, like I'm a oddly satisfying Snapchatter where I'll
Me
be like
too.
every day I watch the cutting. I want to cut soap once in my life.
Me too.
I
Oh my
want
God.
to do it so fucking bad. Like, cause I'm
No,
like,
literally,
it's
as we speak right now, sorry to interrupt, but
that's
I'm
okay.
on a setup on a paint pan and I just peeled all this paint off. Like I
God.
need to fidget with stuff. Like I'm listening to you, but I need to be
Yeah.
satisfied.
Oh my God. That's the shit I live for. Or like, the paint buckets and they take it down. And
Yes. Oh my.
yes. Or the squishy foam. And I'm just like,
Yes, and they wet it. Yes.
yes. Like that's the shit like I go to bed with every night just because
Me
it's just
too. It puts
oddly,
me to
it
sleep. It like
puts me,
lowers my heart rate. It literally
yeah.
like weird. It's so weird.
It's just, or also this is another one I like watching. They'll take a container and they'll put like all the Smarties in a row. Or like,
Oh,
so,
they organize
they
stuff.
organize it. So like here is, please excuse this Jacob doll. We were talking about Barbie. From this is my beautiful Twilight New Moon, Jacob.
Love it.
But say like this is a box and it could fit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they like put it in and you hear this. Like
I know.
I can't be that organized in my real life, but like,
Me either.
oh, I live for that shit.
Me
I live for
too.
that shit. So my goal is at one point before I turn 30, which is in a couple months, is to cut soap and just like to peel it. Like
Yeah.
that's my sheet. But hey, different strokes for different folks, right? My
Mhm.
fiance looks at that, he's like, that's dumb. Like,
Yeah,
the
whenever
fucking
oh wait, have you seen, you might not have seen these. These are like super niche. What I love is on YouTube, sometimes they show up on TikTok. It's like rug cleaning videos.
oh
And
my
they're like
God.
literally black. They're so dirty, they're
Yes.
black. And then they spray it and they scrub it
Rub
and all the
it.
dirt flying out with a
Yes.
squeegee.
Oh,
Ugh, those. Andrew, okay, that's when Andrew was like, okay, Danielle, what are you watching? Like the soap, he's like, okay, I get it. But with the rugs, he's like, what? Why don't you go actually clean instead of watching this? I'm like, it's different.
it's different. We play The Sims, okay? We
Yeah.
like watching other people clean shit, okay?
Yeah.
That I also like spray painting roofs where they're
Yeah.
just like it all becomes one color, or if they're doing lines on the like a parking lot and they just have the stencils and they're just going down with the paint. My God. Like that's the shit I live for. I just
Yes.
find it just relaxes you. For some
Mhm.
people, it's like I like to watch documentaries, or
Oh, I
I
can't
like
sit through that.
I like to read a book. I'm like, I want to watch somebody literally or AMSAR for like painting a rock or like
Yeah.
like that type of shit. I love. I also because I am if I had money, I would be into fashion. I look like I pick up my kid from yoga class every day because I'm always in yoga pants and a baggy t-shirt, but I
Me too.
love, right? It's just comfy. But if
Mhm.
I had the money, I love seeing designer versus model versus celebrity. So the designer making it, the model that wore it on the catwalk, the celebrity walking. That's always been like I live for that shit. But it again, different everybody has their own niche. Like it I now have people reaching out to me on this podcast being like, me and my husband will be driving home from like our cottage or anywhere and we'll listen to you. And I'm just
Oh my gosh.
like this past year, I was on people's Spotify raps.
Oh my gosh, that's a huge
I
accomplishment.
I was like, and I was like, I said that to somebody, and I was like, to clarify, not my mom. I did not. I've never talked to this person. Or I have somebody
So cool.
who uses this podcast and teaches English because
Oh my
these are
gosh.
like 3 hour videos. It's 3 hours of just teaching English. I was just like,
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool.
it's cool. Well, which leads me to Nard Villain, which we've talked about several times. Podcast friend, love him dearly. He's talked to me about taking a moment and celebrating milestones. That is something I had a hard time doing in the first, I want to even say the first 2 years of this podcast because I was just always on to the next task. But now I've
Mhm.
really stopped to smell the roses and really appreciate when my fans, which is still so gross to say that word out loud,
I know.
my listeners reach out to me. What is the moment to you? What was your biggest milestone and how did you celebrate that?
I would say I hit 200,000 followers on TikTok. I baked a cake and I wrote with pink icing 200K. And I had a little photo shoot and I like posted it on social media, and that was a really big milestone because I was stuck in the 100,000s for like the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to be focused on numbers, but it was just finally like, whew, like I could breathe. I was like, finally, I don't have to freaking look at this 198 and 199 for 5 more months straight. Like, come on. So I know followers, like, of course, my followers matter because they're people, or hopefully most of them are. But at the same time, you have to celebrate. I mean, sometimes you have to focus on the numbers because at the end of the day, that's what makes you like grow and gets you money if you do make money on social media. Um, so like numbers do matter, but at the same time, they really don't.
I can tell
Um,
you as a social media manager, the numbers actually don't matter. It's
Mhm.
engagement is the
It
first
is
thing.
engagement. Yeah.
You
I
can,
was a social media manager last year just for a little bit for a wedding photography, videography company.
yeah.
And I grew them from 2,000 to 7,000 followers 'cause I made reels for them.
Hmm.
And I guess for them, numbers do matter. Like, of course, like for a company, if you, when you start out, you only have like 20 followers, you don't look legit. But
Yeah.
once you have like a K, like 10K, it's like, okay, this like people know this brand. So numbers do matter, not really for creators, but like for companies, yes.
Sometimes I yeah, kind of yes and no. How I've always looked at it when I helped out companies is it could be bots as who's following you. So I like to gauge. So say you have 5,000 followers and but your posts are only getting one or two likes. That tells me that you're
Okay, well, yeah, that's
yeah,
obviously you don't even have
bots.
to, yeah,
It's bots,
yeah,
right? So like I always say I'm like you want at least 10% of whatever you're following is engaging, not on every post, but just certain ones. Because
yeah,
like I mean the algorithm could not be your friend as well.
yeah,
You could post stuff and it just never see it or be shadow banned. That's a big problem right now. A lot of people are starting to get shadow banned for no
yeah.
reason, right? So
Mhm.
you're right to an extent for certain things. For clothes, makeup, hair, it's kind of the more stuff. Yeah, people go by followers, but if you're just like Jim Bob's restaurant, it's
Yeah.
interesting because I would go more by engagement and reviews more than I would go
Well, yeah,
Instagram followers.
reviews are also very important because I look at reviews before I go places all the time.
So, like, a good example is if you're a good mechanic and you're on Instagram because your kid made you go on Instagram and you have like 100 followers, I would trust them more than a company that has like 5,000 because mechanics are not going to have a big Instagram presence for
Yeah.
mechanics because they're too busy running stuff. So it's interesting to see like the different stuff that
Yeah.
it can make or break. Like you said, like wedding photographer makes sense. You want to have the most people, the most reach because
Hmm.
that's universal. But if it's like a small like the company I used to work for, like we sat at like 2,000 followers. To me, that was amazing because those were 2,000 local, no bots followers, and they engaged with us.
Hmm.
But 2,000 for me on Stassi, I'd be like, oh my God, I've lost so many followers. What
Me
the
too.
fuck did I do? But
Yeah.
it depends on, I think it depends on every situation. But that actually leads me to one of my final questions is advice. What advice would you recommend to anybody wanting to start TikTok and growing as fast as you were able to do?
So, unfortunately, let me start off on a bad note and then I'll go into the good, happy advice. Unfortunately, not everyone can do what I did. I was very lucky.
Mhm.
You can copy everything I did to a T and you might not grow as big as me. You might not grow at all. All your videos might get 2 views.
Mhm.
Like, it's all about luck. Also, if you're consistent and you persist, eventually you'll get somewhere. I was just lucky to get a big head start.
Mhm.
And I wasn't expecting it. So don't go into it like content creation thinking you're gonna end up like Lil Simsy in a week. that takes years. Like, it's hard. It is super hard. If you don't love, like, if you don't have an eye for social media and like analytics, and if you don't know anything about it, it's also going to be hard for you because you have to have like I've been on social media since I was 11. Literally, I got an Instagram when I was 11 years old, so I've seen how everything grows and changes. I know how everything works, kind of basically. I like to think that I do. So, if you're new to social media and you're new to content creation, just know that you're not going to grow overnight, probably. Maybe you was extremely lucky. I was so lucky and I'm so thankful that that happened, but it does not happen to everyone. But as long as you make good, high quality content, and high quality doesn't mean you have to have $1 million setup. Like you can literally like film with your phone. Just make sure it's not shaky or blurry. Make sure graphic settings are, less than, I mean, higher than like the lowest setting. You don't have to spend $1,000 to do what I do. You just have to be consistent. Don't post 5 times a day and then not post for 2 weeks. You can post once every couple days and spread it out across those 2 weeks. Um, so like I said, as long as you love what you do, people are gonna notice that and they're gonna like you for that. They're gonna be like, oh, this person really, I can tell that they enjoy what they're doing and I like what they're doing too. Let me follow them and like their videos. Also engaging with other accounts that are in your niche, like commenting and giving them like a positive message. That really helps because then you make friends
Mhm.
and that's always great. And then maybe they can recommend you. Like I get so many tags on TikTok all the time because people like in other people's comments are like, do you have any, shells of houses? And they're like, I don't, but Danielle Builds does. So like, you know, making yourself known, you can do that yourself just by messaging and commenting on people's videos. And you can get free promo just like that. Um, there's a lot more I could say. I could talk about it all day because it's so much information. Um, but the gist of it is make sure you love what you're doing. Do not go into it for the money. That's just a little benefit. That's just a teensy tiny part of it. The main thing is consistency, love what you do, and you can't give up if one video doesn't do well, or if 10 videos don't do well, or if 100 videos don't do well. Keep going, and eventually the work will pay off. One day it will. Even if it's not in a year or two, it will. I promise it will.
Well, Danielle, that is such amazing advice. Please listen to Danielle. Everything she said was true, especially when you're starting off, because everybody's wants to be the next little Simsy, and it takes work, a lot, a lot of work, and you got to find your niche, and you got to do something that makes you stand out from
Yes.
everybody else. You can't do the same not so berry challenge. It's going to it's not gonna stand out. So listen to Danielle. That's such amazing advice. I want to thank you so much for coming here today. It was an absolute blast getting to know you. I would love to have you back, obviously for season 3, since this is a season
Mhm.
finale, but I would love to have you on the real life, if you would so chose to talk about social media and talking about what it's like to be a bigger social media person and the dark sides of it and the good sides of it, because there's both,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yes.
But that's definitely something that hopefully that podcast will already be out by now, because y'all know I like to film 7 months out. But Danielle, again, thank you so much for coming. Why don't you tell everybody where we can find your work?
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for inviting me. I had so much fun. I feel like we're best friends. Like we just
Right.
vibed very well together. So that was great. Also, all my socials are at Danielle Builds. That's Danielle Builds. Um, I have basically every social media that exists. I have an Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I was on Reddit, but I got suspended for no reason, so I'm not on Reddit anymore. Um, Patreon, Twitter, but my main 3 are TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
And you
So,
have merch, because you
oh
just had new
yes,
merch drop.
Yeah, I dropped a little, very basic. My first merch collection was like mental health related. It's called Love Yourself. But the one I dropped yesterday is just a little plum bob on a hoodie and t-shirt. So yeah.
I love that. Please go check out Danielle Builds. You are absolutely amazing.
Aw.
I'm so happy that we got to do this and our paths have
Yeah.
crossed. I cannot wait for you to send me a picture of your wedding dress after this because
I'm about to.
I can't wait to see it. I want to thank you again for coming on. Thank you again for being the season finale. I want to take a minute and I want to thank everybody for coming on this journey with me this season. It has been a roller coaster. It has been so much fun getting to know so many amazing simmers and just having so many important conversations that we need to continue to have. I love you guys so, so, so much. You guys are absolutely amazing. I could not do this without you. Thank you guys for tuning in every week. Do not worry. This season 3 will come around sooner than you think. And if you want to come and be interviewed on season 3, please just send me an email, message me. I have enough spots for everybody. But there will be one more season finale, which will be next week, which will be the season finale roundtable. So please stay tuned for that. And I just want to thank everybody for coming here today and, getting to know more about Danielle Builds and towed along with me. And I feel like by the time this is done, it's going to be over 100 episodes this season of
Oh my goodness.
what I've been able to pull out of a hat. So I cannot wait to see you guys again in season 3. And thank you guys for coming along my journey. And I want to thank Danielle Builds for coming here today to be my season finale guest.
Thank you. And thank you so much if you listen this far. I've always thought about doing a podcast, but I don't think I could ever do it. It's just such a unique thing. And you're so talented to like be able to know how to do a podcast and just that's so cool. That's so cool. And I look up to you because this is like very unique and amazing. And I'm just so proud of how far you've come. And thank you for asking me to be on this podcast.
Oh, I know. I'm not a crier.
Oh, stop.
Thank you. The whole goal of this back was in the pandemic was to bring the community closer
Yeah.
together and get to learn more about the creator. We're not just Sims people. We have lives.
Yeah, we're not just like bots that throw up videos every day. We're humans who like have emotions.
Exactly. Well, Danielle, thank you so much for the sweet, kind words. You are
Yeah.
an amazing part of this community, and it would not be the same without you. So thank you for everything you do. You have so many amazing supportive fans. We love what you do. Continue up with the fantastic work, and I want to wish you the best of luck with everything to come. We're still gonna be friends. This isn't ending after this podcast, but I want to wish you the best of luck for 2024. And by the time this comes out, we gonna have another ring on this finger, which I'm so excited about. But
it's gonna fly back and be like, that felt like yesterday.
right. But Danielle, absolute pleasure. Thank you again for coming here. Thank you to my listeners. You guys are amazing, and I love everybody. And stay kind and stay positive. And the most important person you need to be kind to is to yourself as well. So, anyways, love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.